obviously after the last fight. How's this camp going?
Yeah, camp's going good, fine. Just getting the basics in, getting the runs in, plenty of pad work, plenty of sparring, getting the shadows in, and yeah, man, just raring to go.
Obviously, last fight, K-Dan, have you had a chance to look at this opponent?
Not particularly, had a quick look. Yeah, we're just going to come with what we need to come with as always. I know I've got the tools to beat this guy. It just depends what happens on the night, really. But yeah, we're prepared.
We know that you bring a certain style, like you like to bring war. How would you describe your fighting style in 3 words?
3 words: boxing, heart, war. In that order.
You're obviously fighting on DFC again. What does it mean to you? Because last time you was out, fight was in Catford, hometown almost. Describe that experience? Yeah,
the experience at Catford was one of the best of my life, to be fair. Both shows in May and September. I said after the show in May, I felt like a professional. I don't know how, I don't know why, and it's probably just down to everything that the guys behind the scenes do. That's from everyone at the top of the Dons right down to the bottom and everything in between. Everyone, no matter who's doing a job there, everyone is bringing that level of professionalism to make it as good a night for the fighters as possible. And that showed on fight night. Yeah, it was a really good feeling.
You spoke about the Dons. You are an ambassador for the Dons. And obviously, we were just talking about it, the knife problem that we face in our own community. What do you see as the importance of these type of shows in spreading that message?
Just showing people that there's another way. Not only knife crime, but in any walk of life as well. Boxing historically, it saved a lot of men. You know, if you look at the likes of Bernard Hopkins, I think he started fighting when he was in prison, and he come on to be a world champion. It's dragged a lot of men out of bad and into good. And even though this may not be a high professional level, it's still saving lives. And boxing's fantastic for that, and more so DFC.
I want to get into that a little bit. So if we speak about your fighting style, you said your fighting style war.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I spent 10 years in the army, but to be honest, it just comes from my life. Life hasn't been easy, but if you look at the K fight, I was on the floor 3-4 times, but I still got up and I still gave it everything I got. That's just a mirror of my life. I've never had nothing easy. Ever since a kid growing up, there's been problems, probably like a lot of men, to be fair. I'm not the only one, but I don't give up. So you're gonna have to put me out to get me out. If not, it's just pure war.
You spoke about almost feeling like a pro.
Yeah.
Next show in Kent is a huge card.
Yep.
We spoke earlier, probably the biggest one yet. How do you feel like to close the year out in such a big card, in such a nice venue? Yeah,
I'm excited. First and foremost, obviously, because this card is, in my opinion, is looking like the best DFC card yet. So it's nice to see everyone sort of see the fruits of their labour grow in terms of the whole DFC team. All the hard work from all the previous shows is now adding up. We're starting to get momentum. And on a personal note, this has been one of the hardest years of my life. So to shut it out 2 weeks before the end of the year by turning up yet again to fight, I'm looking forward to it and I'm excited. And it's going to be one hell of a show.
You spoke about tough times. What does boxing do to help you through those tough times?
It just gives you purpose. You know, a man surely is meant for more than just waking up every day and paying the bills, right? You've got to have something for yourself, something other than, you know, just work, family life, and also something that your children can look up to. So boxing for me, yeah, it's about something for me as a person, something that I can do for my children and my family and people around me, and then they know like, oh, he's on a good path. It takes away the daily stresses, the weekly stresses, albeit only for a couple of hours a week. Before you're back at work, you're doing whatever. But then, yeah, to showcase it all on fight night, that is the big thing that I look forward to, and it gets me through each week.
You spoke a little bit You mentioned family there. Last fight, before the last fight, I met Little Man.
Yeah.
And you told me before the fight you had something big planned for the entrance.
Yeah.
And it was all structured around what Little Man wanted almost. Like,
Yeah.
he was doing it for Little Man. Talk us through that entrance, the idea of it all and where it all come from.
Yeah, well, the first fight with Kay, obviously it ended badly for me in terms of the loss, the stoppage. And it was almost just like a return from the dead theme. So when Eminem's new album come out, my son loves Eminem. He's just turned 10 and he's growing up. All of a sudden he's running around spitting Eminem bars and Dr. Dre. And I'm having to look twice, like. So when the new Eminem album come out, I said to him, we're going to listen to that back to back, track. So we're just sitting around my place, going through the tracks, and then that skit came on, and it just hit me. I said, Bobs, that's what we're going to come out to. He fell in love with it, I fell in love with it, and the rest is history.
Got anything planned for this one?
You have to wait and see, man. We're always going up with the levels.
Yeah, I like that. You're a West Ham fan. What would mean more to you, West Ham winning the league or you beating Dimitri Bivol for a title?
I'll beat Bivol all day long over that. I'll take that all day long, yeah.
Personal glory, right?
Yeah, 100.
Bivol's a bit of a mad question. Cool, if you could match anyone in the world from DFC to fight, who could, like what match would you make up? Any two DFC fighters outside of yourself or yourself?
Outside of myself, any two DFC fighters, past or present?
Past or present?
I'll take the rematch with Pat Hill.
That would be a war. Future plans. What are your plans for the future? You can answer that first. What are your plans for the future with boxing?
Just keep fighting through the year. As long as my body will go, I'm there. As long as I can get my training in and my body can hold out. Obviously, I'm a little bit older than some of the fighters. Not that it's an excuse, but I'm certainly pushing my limits, and I'll continue to do that until I can't no more. So most certainly, 2025. I'll be fighting. Career-wise, use that term loosely, but who and where I fight and what I fight for potentially, I'll leave that up to Flips, because he's done a fantastic job so far, and I trust him to carry on to do that.
You speak a little bit about the age.
Yeah.
With that comes a lot of more experience as well.
Yeah.
Have you adjusted anything with your camp as you've gotten older to, improve how you feel coming out of the camp?
Yeah, I try to do less long distance runs, more shorter, sharper stuff. Especially after a long time in the army, my knees carrying all the kit and stuff like that, they're slowly going. But yeah, we just do a lot more shorter, sharper stuff. I try to get a little bit more rest in, rather than going every day or twice a day. I realise now that through the last camp, I realised I can't do that. I used to be able to train twice a day like most young men, but now I can't go twice a day without the repercussions. So yeah, we're just a bit more intense and a bit more rest.
Obviously, you've looked at your opponent, you know how you're feeling right now. Can we get a prediction from you?
Just war, man.
Some of DFC's greatest ever fighters have come from Kent. Affectionately dubbed as the Garden of England, it just serves to prove the old adage true, that it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Join us this December as the Warriors of DFC make a valiant return to England's very own garden. Ladies and gents, we're coming back to Kent.